be seated. As the president of Rocky Vista University, I am pleased to extend greetings to all gathered here today. It is indeed an honor to make it known that Rocky Vista University will award degrees to our graduates in the College of Osteopathic Medicine. This ceremony marks the university's second annual commencement exercise. Today, degrees will be awarded to 145 members of the class of 2013. To pay tribute to this great nation for the many freedoms we enjoy, would the audience please rise for the posting of colors and join Soap Notes, the Rocky Vista University a cappella group, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I would now like to invite Dr. Frank Ames, Professor of Medical Informatics and Director of Library Services, to the platform to deliver the invocation.
Distinguished guests and graduates, please join me in the invocation. Sovereign of the universe, who is known by many names and acknowledged in various ways throughout the world, we gather in this place to recognize students who are becoming doctors, the families who supported them, the faculty who taught them, and the visionaries who saw a need for a university to train physicians with compassion, integrity, and excellence. In humility, we express gratitude for the opportunities and the assistance received, and with pride celebrate the accomplishments of these student doctors, recognizing their outstanding achievement. With confident hope, we seek for them every success and a strength from within and beyond themselves, the ability to perform their duties faithfully, to seek the welfare of their communities, to cooperate with their colleagues, and to esteem those from whom they learn, and always to pursue the best interests of the profession and the students who will come after them. It's our wish that every graduate here, that every student we count today, that every alum I number in this commencement, every new doctor now advancing to residency, may each find for themselves and provide for others lives of health, security, and peace. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Ames. Members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, graduates, families, and friends, welcome to Rocky Vista University's second annual commencement ceremony. This is an exciting day for all of us. It's a day when students fulfill their promise that began with their acceptance to Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine and culminates today with the awarding of the professional degree. Graduates, I invite you to look at this vast audience gathered here to celebrate what you have accomplished. Enjoy your day. On behalf of the faculty and others in the community we proudly call Rocky Vista University, I extend thanks to the families and friends who have joined us to celebrate the individual and collective achievement of the graduates. And to the class of 2013, as you celebrate the completion of a major milestone in your educational journey, Rocky Vista University is proud to recognize you as accomplished professionals. May you enjoy for many years the rewards that come to those who serve others. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party. We have today with us several members of our Board of Trustees. The board has wisely governed the course of Rocky Vista University and ensured that our mission has been preserved and strengthened to the position of preeminence that we enjoy today. Members of the Board of Trustees with us today include Mr. Ife Tien, founder of Rocky Vista University, Dr. Vanessa Sanchez, chairperson and secretary to the board, Dr. Lucy Chua, Dr. George Saramuga, Dr. Maha Salam, and Ms. Allison Griffin. Will the members of the board please stand and be recognized? Representing the College of Osteopathic Medicine is our Dean, Dr. Bruce Dubin, our Vice Dean, Dr. Thomas Moore, our Associate Deans, Dr. Stephen Putoff, Dr. Dwayne Browndow, and Dr. Michael Martin, and the Chair of our Faculty Senate, Dr. Jason Wells. Will our representatives from the College of Osteopathic Medicine please stand and be recognized? We are also pleased to have our Alumni Association President, Megan Croteau, join us today. Dr. Croteau, please stand and be recognized. Leading our commissioning ceremony is Major General Philip Volpe, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. Major General Volpe, will you please stand and be recognized? Also joining us this day is Barbara Ross Lee, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, our commencement speaker. Dr. Ross Lee, will you please stand and be recognized? In addition to platform guests, we also would like to extend greetings to others who've played an instrumental role in supporting Rocky Vista University. We have government officials from our city of Parker, Colorado, members of professional association, pre-medical student academic advisors, executives from our opties, preceptors, and several military officials who are in attendance to celebrate your achievements. I would now like to invite Dr. Vanessa Sanchez to the podium to extend greetings from our Board of Trustees.
Good morning. Today is the beginning of a beautiful and rewarding career. Taking care of the sick ones, maybe finding a cure for a disease, most of the time enhancing the quality of those who are not healthy. Always remember to practice your medicine with compassion, integrity, and excellence. The whole Board of Trustees here join me in wishing you all the best. And personally, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. I am so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanchez. I would now like to invite Dr. Megan Croteau, President of the Rocky Vista University Alumni Association and graduate of our College of Osteopathic Medicine's inaugural class of 2012, to the podium.
Good morning, and congratulations to the class of 2013. I am honored to be a part of your special day today and to be one of the first to welcome you into this amazing profession, a healer, an educator, a physician. I am here this morning to officially welcome you into Rocky Vista University's Alumni Association. Established in 2012 with the graduation of Rocky Vista University's inaugural class, we are an organization committed to the needs of our alumni and the growth of Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Today, as we welcome 145 new doctors, our association grows to 271 total members. Being a part of RVU's inaugural class myself, I take great pride in the Alumni Association and in Rocky Vista University. While looking at the class of 2013's accomplishments and achievements, I must say I am honored to have you. The class of 2013 has exhibited greatness, not only in the classroom, but on community outreach, international mission trips, and of course, your outstanding board scores and match rate. Exactly 1 year ago today, I sat here in your shoes. I was excited as my future as a pediatrician and as my year as an intern upcoming. But quite frankly, I was a little nervous for my new responsibilities as doctor. Much like all self-realizations, mine came at 2 a.m. when my very first, very ill 3-year-old male came through the second floor doors at the Children's Hospital. It was the dreaded respiratory floor in pediatric respiratory season. As a new nurse looked at me and said, "What would you like to do, Dr. Croteau?" I thought to myself, yes, what do I want to do? Flashbacks of anatomy lab, PCM lectures, and various mentors' advice came swirling through my head. I figured out a plan quickly and moved forward with this patient's care. Afterwards, I sat stunned that it all had came back so quickly, but I was relieved. It was then that I realized RVU had given me a solid foundation to build on. While we still have much to learn and many experiences ahead of us, feel confident that you have been given the skills and the knowledge to excel and to do great things. As you move forward with your career, residency, and beyond, remember you are not alone, for RVU grads are near and far. While a large number of our alumni are still here in Colorado, we traverse the United States from Hawaii to Maine and everywhere in between. We hope you find it easy to network with your fellow alumni so that we all may come together to do the most important thing that we set out to do, bettering our communities. I ask that you keep Rocky Vista University and the Alumni Association close to your hearts. I task the class of 2013 to continue to exhibit greatness, to give back to your community, and to help others. Most importantly, I urge you to find health. For as Dr. A.T. Still once said, to find health should be the object of any doctor. Anyone can find disease. It is with great pride that I welcome my classmates, my colleagues, and my friends into the Rocky Vista University Alumni Association. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Croteau. It's such a pleasure to have an opportunity to talk with the class of 2013 from Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Please allow me to add my congratulations and to say how proud I am of you and how very pleased our entire RVU campus is of your honor and achievement today to be receiving your Doctorate of Osteopathic Medicine degree. As your president, I firmly believe you are our greatest legacies, and we are committed to your successes. I believe your successes are our successes. I'm also honored to know that we have a connection for life as you become a member of the RVU Alumni Association today and will forever be a member of our Rocky Vista University family. I'm tasked with delivering the President's message to the class of 2013. In an attempt to provide some words of wisdom and advice to you, I talked with several seasoned higher education leaders, veteran medical educators, a few members of last year's graduating class, and even some of you to ask what a new doctor of osteopathic medicine would want to hear at his or her graduation. As you can imagine, I got several suggestions, and among them included, don't forget to pay your malpractice insurance, keep studying and stay disciplined with your time like you did when you were taking classes. Stay current with your student loan repayment schedule. Be an active member of the Rocky Vista University Alumni Association. Be a leader in your community and live a balanced life. Wow. From their advice and from the years of participating in many college commencement ceremonies, I've decided to share advice that I learned early in my life about listening. Many famous people have spoken about the value of listening. Carly Fiorina, former Hewlett-Packard CEO, says, "You have to master not only the art of listening to your head, you must also master listening to your heart and listening to your gut." Jane Goodall, accomplished anthropologist, takes a more active view of listening when she notes change happens by listening and then starting a dialogue with people who are doing something you don't believe is right. These quotes present thoughtful insights on the value of listening. I, on the other hand, want to talk about listening on a more personal level and tell you about another influential woman in my life who taught me the most about listening, my mother. My mother was a strong Southern woman with fortitude and discipline of character and integrity who was central in my life. Raising 4 children by herself was no easy task, as she had to juggle each of us with the responsibilities of work and home. My mother taught me the value of listening, and as with any strong, dignified Southern woman, she would have an expression that aptly captured her point. She always told me, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so use them proportionally." That was a value she admired and introduced to me, that I should be still, be watching, be learning by viewing and hearing things going on around me. I quickly learned I could take her lessons of listening to get things I wanted. For example, I always wanted to be at the adult table at family gatherings, and I learned I could sneak into that table by being quiet, by watching, by listening. Hearing the conversations allowed me to learn so much about the people around the table, and it allowed me to genuinely feel like I belonged there. It often worked for a while until I got so caught up in listening to their conversations that eventually I just had to jump in and add my own comments. I might add that a 6-year-old's version of the conversation was not always on target. Listening and watching have become habits to me over my life. I've been known as someone who is relatively a quick study, and to that I attribute my abilities to see and to hear what are around me. Another profound experience about listening came much more recently when I was on a bike trip across the Amish country in Pennsylvania. It was a 4-day bike trip of 50 to 60 miles each day that took me on the most peaceful, quiet, relaxing ride I had ever experienced. And if you know anything about the Amish, you know generally they're not inclined to use mechanical conveniences and to be riding a bicycle mile after mile without cars, without too many farm machines like tractors or other loud farm equipment was an enjoyable ride. In fact, the experience was magnificent. Hour after hour and mile after mile was spent listening to the wind, listening to the laughter of the kids playing in the fields, and watching the rise of the road in the distance. The Amish country is filled with miles of agriculture and acre upon acre of corn. If you've not been to this area, you need to imagine the most bucolic landscape you could ever find. And for a city girl, this was really rural. The corn was in full bloom and the tassel swayed in the wind. The stalks were 7 to 9 feet high and the weight of the corn was pulling down the stalk. Clearly, the farmers were working hard to harvest the corn before it was too late. And from what I tasted each day, they seemed to have perfected the right moment to pick it. Miles and miles of cornfields were all I passed day after day. With every rise of the road, I would see nothing but another valley and another hill of cornfields. It seemed as though every turn of the crank of my bike led me to undulating fields of corn swelling over the countryside. One of those days, especially hot and humid, I found that I was completely separated from my riding group, who had taken the approach that the first one back to the bed and breakfast got to sit in the hot tub longer, and the last one back had to buy drinks for the evening. Sadly, I was the last one back and the slowest in the group. The slowness, I concluded, allowed me the chance to really absorb and listen to what was going on in the fields. At one moment, I was totally lost in thought, and then totally lost looking at the cornfields and watching the swaying of the stalks. I was stretched out on my road bike, forearms over the handlebars, feeling the upstroke and then the downstroke of my pedals. I found myself listening to the click of my bike as I changed gears and hearing my tire on the road with that thump, thump, thump tires make when traveling on uneven surfaces. Then all of a sudden, my listening was heightened a great deal when I heard a noise coming from the cornfields. At first, I was not sure what it was, but then I realized it was the corn. I actually heard the corn. The chattering of the corn stalks, to be more precise. The movement of the corn created a very vocal noise. I even got off my bike once to walk into the field to see if I could hear someone talking. My listening was so focused in the moment that the corn stalk was audible on my bike. The noise was like voices coming from the fields. That level of listening demonstrated to me that I was in the moment, that I was experiencing the sounds of the earth. It was so quiet in my time on the road that I had the space to take in the sounds of the corn. The chattering of the corn I heard was symbolic in that it represented to me that if I could be still, if I could be focused in the moment, that I could hear something as abstract as the movement of the corn stalks. So what in the world does this advice on listening have to do with you? It's really simple. You have to listen. Listen to yourself, listen to others, listen to your elders, listen to your children, listen to your colleagues, your partner, and especially in your case, listen to your patients. The kind of listening that requires you to be still, to watch, to grasp what is going on around you. As you leave and embark on your residency, you will need to listen to the physicians leading and teaching you. You will need to listen to the entire team you are working with, the nurse, the custodian, and others who might look to you for guidance. You can never stop listening. Being a great physician requires that you are a great listener. You're going to be making decisions in time frames that most of us will not experience. Those split-second decisions that result in saving a life. The pressures on you will not always come with calmness, and the luxury to reflect before acting may not always be available to you. I encourage you to find a metaphor, a visual of some sorts that you can use to center yourself. For me, clearly the bike ride comes to mind, where I was so focused in the moment that I could hear the movement of the corn. I think about that experience often, and when I'm under pressure, I try to imagine my focus on that ride and try to recreate those moments in my head that are quiet so I can hone in on the things going on around me that I need to hear, even the small things. Whatever your metaphor, I want you to be the best listener and be the best at sorting out the details of the situation confronting you so that you make the best decisions possible. Listening with your head, and especially your heart, will serve you well. Dr. Joyce Brothers noted, listening, not imitation, may be the sincerest form of flattery. And finally, writer Rachel Rimmen gives us a deep appreciation for listening when she says the most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we give each other is our attention. A loving silence often has far more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. Rocky Vista University, class of 2013, you have a wonderful future ahead of you, and I look forward to hearing about the journey you are about to embark upon today, and I cannot wait to listen to your stories and to hear how well Rocky Vista University prepared you for your successes. I would now like to invite Dr. Bruce Dubin to the podium to deliver the Dean's Address.
So wow, what a day, huh? Hey, Dr. Moore, did you know that this class was number 1 in the country on their COMLEX Level 1 exam? And Dr. Moore, did you also know they were number 1 on the COMLEX PE examination as well? Wow, again, what a day. Members of your graduating class are in Sigma Sigma Phi National Honor Society. For those of you who are parents and members of the audience, a little bit about Sigma Sigma Phi. This is an honorary society who accept people who are medical students who are noted for their giving. It often works on the precept that what you acquire is gone when you're gone, but what you give lives on. Rocky Vista University and members of our graduating class are excellent in giving to the community. And I'd like to personally thank the members of Sigma Sigma Phi for your contributions. Thank you so much. So it was a little under 4 years ago that you all came together and you came to Rocky Vista University for a dream. And that dream was to become a physician, to become a caregiver, to become a healthcare provider, to become the person that people will turn to in times of illness, in times of crisis. You had a dream somewhere in that soul of yours about what it is that you wanted to be. You were selected, you were chosen, and you came together, a strong group of men and women dedicated to work real hard and become the kinds of physicians that you wanted to be. Now, you didn't really know at that time just how hard it was, and you struggled through a first year, let me say, maybe even a god-awful year, spending hours in the anatomy lab over and over again, getting ready for those anatomy lab finals, sitting through lectures in molecular biology, spending 8-10 hours at night studying after you spent 8 hours in a classroom, doing all the things that you had to do to survive that first year, but you kept that dream alive. Your dream of becoming a doctor was becoming reality. Then year 2 came, and it changed a little bit because you got to learn and love Robin's textbook of pathology. What more can I say? And instead of hours in the anatomy lab, it became hours of Puthoff, Sims, and Garrison, leading you through lectures about pathology, and hours of watching Dr. Darrow jump around after he's had too much Mountain Dew, and watching Dr. Moore lecture and answering his questions. And you got through that second year, and your dream became stronger. The third year came, and in the third year, you had some of the most remarkable experiences anybody ever has in life. You got to deliver babies, for most of you, the first time in your life, to take part in that magic moment when another new life is brought into the world. You got to stand in an operating room theater, and as that incision was made, you felt the warmth and heat coming off of that body as the surgeon was doing his or her work in helping save some patient's life. And the fourth year came, and the dream became so close. The residency quest, those audition rotations, sitting through the development of your CVs, the interviews where they were asking you questions like, well, what's the meaning of life and how would you make healthcare in the U.S. better? And he answered those questions, and here we are today. This is a magic day, and this is the day your dream comes true. And I want to thank you for sharing that dream with us. I want to acknowledge members of the faculty, too, who helped your dream come true. And I'd like to ask the graduates to give them a quick round of applause for the faculty who helped you along. Thank you so much. Also, our adjunct faculty, the people who are out there in the third and fourth year, many of whom are here today to watch you walk across this stage and make your dream part of their reality as it's part of yours as well. Please give them a round of applause. And lastly, as the Dean of the Medical School, I want to thank you so much for your confidence, because it was your hard work, your dedication, all those long hours that, Dr. Moore, let them become #1 in the country on those boards again, right? Okay, so give yourself a round of applause for me. Now I'd like to call student doctors, the last time I get to call her that, Kaylee Zur, to come forward and deliver the valedictorian's address. Kaylee?
Good morning. Around 4 years ago, we all stood in a much smaller auditorium in front of our friends and our family and began our journey to becoming physicians. It was there we recited the osteopathic oath for the first time, and it was then that we donned our first white coat. That short white coat not only designated our position in the hierarchy of medical education, but wearing it meant we were on our way to becoming physicians. As we stood in our new coats, we were filled with excitement and a readiness to learn and absorb all that would be sent our way. The next years would be some of the most challenging and the most rewarding times of our lives. Many of us would discover new relationships, get married, and start our families. We discovered allies and great friends in our fellow classmates, and it was these friends that got us through the long hours in the anatomy lab, countless hours studying physiology, pathology, micro, pharmacology, for what seemed like the never-ending parade of exams. After 2 years of being sheltered and nurtured within the walls of Rocky Vista University, we were scattered across the United States to finally practice all that we had learned and to discover who we would become as future physicians. Yes, we had learned about the many diseases and treatments that make up medicine, but it is the human aspect of medicine that I look back on the most. We have all seen how fragile life can be and how determined the spirit is. We have witnessed some of life's most sorrowful moments, but have also had the honor of being part of some of life's most joyful events. Along the way, we have learned that the simple act of a smile, a kind word, or an open ear are some of our most powerful tools for providing comfort and building relationships. As we get ready to hang up our now dingy white coats of medical school and put on our crisp new coats for residency, it is important to remember that our coats are more than a vehicle for carrying reference books, notes, iPhones, chapsticks, and protein bars. Whatever your specialty, internal medicine, OBGYN, pediatrics, radiology, family medicine, anesthesiology, surgery, or pathology, when we put on our white coats, we are seen as someone knowledgeable, caring, and trusting. We are now physicians. Congratulations, class of 2013.
Thank you, Kaylee. It's now my honor to introduce our commencement speaker. The mission of Rocky Vista University is to provide healthcare education while inspiring students to serve with compassion, integrity, and excellence. Our commencement speaker epitomizes these qualities. Dr. Barbara Ross Lee has been a strong advocate for the osteopathic medicine profession for 40 years. She graduated with her doctorate of osteopathic medicine from Michigan State University in 1973, and then opened and operated a family practice in Detroit for 10 years. Dr. Ross Lee served as captain in the U.S. Naval Reserve Medical Corps and was an education consultant for the United States Department of Health, Human Services. In 1991, Dr. Ross Lee received the Robert Wood Johnson Health Policy Fellowship, and in 1993, she became the first African-American woman to administer a medical school in the United States, where she was appointed Dean of the Ohio University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Following her notable career in Ohio, Dr. Ross Lee was appointed Vice President for Health Sciences and Medical Affairs at New York Institute of Technology, where she is currently serving as a Dean of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Ross Lee was the recipient of the Magnificent Seven Award and presented in 1993 by the Business Professional Association. She received the Women's Health Award from Blackboard African American National Bestsellers for her contributions to women's health, the Distinguished Public Service Award from the Oklahoma State University College of Osteopathic Medicine, and an honorary doctorate of science from the New York Institute of Technology. Dr. Ross Lee has lectured extensively and has published more than 30 scholarly articles addressing a variety of medical and healthcare issues. Throughout her career, Dr. Ross Lee has been active in the American Osteopathic Association, the American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine, the National Medical Association of Osteopathic Medicine, and the Association for Academic Health Centers. It is with great pleasure I welcome Barbara Ross Lee, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, as our commencement speaker. Dr. Ross Lee.
I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees, the administration, faculty, and Dr. Dubin, who, by the way, has also been in osteopathic medicine for 40 years. And don't forget that, okay? But especially I'd like to thank the graduates for inviting me to speak today at your commencement. This is your commencement. And you know, as I tried to get ready and prepared with a presentation to give you, I wanted to decide what was that one thing you needed to know that you didn't already know and you couldn't graduate without. So I had 10 subjects, and I finally got it down to 3, and I was struggling with it. And then Dr. Dubin told me about your performance on COMLEX 1 and 2, and I realized you were experts at multiple choice. So, since you're experts, I have 3 topics. I'm prepared to give 1, 2, or all 3, or 1, but I'll leave it up to you to choose. And since I can't see you, I don't want to see your hands. I want you by voice. You have to tell me which one of these topics you want to hear today. Okay, so now let me tell you what they are. First is Einstein's theory of relativity as a strategic planning basis for the future of the healthcare workforce. That's the number 1 topic. And the second topic is the sociocultural access, cost, and quality of care implications of genetic analysis as a disease prevention strategy. That's number 2. And then the third one is what the future holds for each of you. Now, A is Einstein, B is genetic analysis, C is about you, 4 is all of the above, and the 5th one, of course, is none of the above, and you don't get to vote on that choice. So you ready? Who wants to hear about Einstein? I told you this was a provocative class. Okay, who wants to hear about genetic analysis? Perverse, that's what you are. And then number 3, who wants to hear about what the future holds for each of you? Okay, but just in case, who wants to hear all of the above? Okay. A graduation speaker has 4 challenges: to be inspirational, to be motivational, to be entertaining, and most importantly, to be brief. I hope to achieve 3 out of the 4. Years ago, you started out on an educational path that has led you to this auditorium today. You set a goal. that only a very few are ever able to achieve. That is to become an osteopathic physician. It hasn't always been easy or fun, but today you have arrived. You have acquired the knowledge and mastered the skills necessary to be a doctor. Becoming a physician is not just a career choice, however. It is a high calling with awesome responsibilities, but it's also something else. From this day forward, it is an immutable part of who you are and who you will always be, like your race, ethnicity, or gender. It will be how you think of yourself and how others think of you, because being a physician not only describes what you will do, but who you are. No other profession is so honored. Your faculty, mentors, and peers have reminded you of the awesome responsibilities that the practice of medicine involves. But today, I won't talk about responsibilities. Instead, today I want to talk to you about expectations. This society expects much from its physicians because it places a great deal of trust in how you provide what you provide. You already know that your parents will likely refer to you as my son or daughter, the doctor. Your children will happily tell their friends that my mom or dad is a doctor. And they'll also volunteer you for show and tell at school. Your spouse will overhear people at dinners and parties whispering that he or she is married to a doctor. Your friends will introduce you as, and this is my best friend, the doctor. Your friends, family members, colleagues, and other individuals in society will also have consistently high expectations of you. These expectations relate directly to your character as much as they relate to your skills and knowledge as a physician. From this day forward, these expectations will become a part of the fabric of your lives. These expectations will define you. Your friends will see you as a personal reflection of their social status. They expect you to be successful, and they expect free advice and discounted service. Your family, who have shared your aspirations, witnessed your sacrifices, and to whom you owe much, will expect you to be financially and socially successful. Above all, they will expect you to be happy. But they will also expect you to serve as their personal health advocate. They will expect you to facilitate, expedite, explain, and run interference from them in all health and medical matters. You will become the personal, willing, and unpaid medical navigator and expert consultant for their friends and neighbors. Your spouses and significant others will be overheard talking about the miracles that you achieve with your patients, because they really do expect you to perform miracles. It's important that you are aware of these expectations because they are pivotal to your future happiness and success. Your profession and school expect you to be loyal, supportive, involved, and above all else, competent. Your colleagues will expect you to be dependable and reliable, committed to the highest quality of health care, and responsive to their request in a timely manner. They want you to return those telephone calls and answer those emails promptly. Your future patients will expect you to listen, observe, promote health and function, relieve pain and suffering, to be understanding, and respect them as individuals. They will also expect you to be available when they need you, irrespective of your own personal plans. Your community will expect you to have integrity, high morals, leadership skills, common sense, excellent communication skills, good judgment in matters personal and professional, and finally, empathy and a caring attitude for all people, regardless of their economic status, their race, their religion, their national origin, their gender, their sexual orientation, the type of insurance, or lack thereof. And then there is society in general that has many expectations and assumptions. You will be expected and assumed to be responsible, unbiased, non-judgmental, ethical, a teacher, and a role model. You will be expected to be wise in all things, to be honorable, and to be honest to a fault. In other words, to be a professional. Finally, you will be expected to be committed to the betterment of humankind, an advocate for good causes and for other people. That frequently takes the form of a financial donation. You enter this profession at the best of times and the worst of times. The future is unavoidable, but more importantly, it is in your hands. So let me share my personal expectations of each of you. And I call it the 4 B's. First, be good. Be the best that you can be, and do the best that you can do. Do the best that you can do, and be the absolute best that you can be. Somebody's life may depend on it. Second, be wise. Use your education, but don't abandon common sense. Employ good judgment based on the knowledge and skills that you have attained. Continue to learn. Continue to learn, because status quo is a formula for mediocrity, and nobody in this class aspires to be mediocre. Third, be proud. Osteopathic medicine has succeeded against all odds to contribute to something that is valuable in healthcare. Each of you must be confident that the contributions you will make to the health of this nation as osteopathic physicians are important and essential. And then fourth, be visionary. Change has been described as the only constant. Nowhere is change more evident than in healthcare. Contribute to change that will make things better for the populations that you serve and the profession that you represent. So, the 4 B's. Be good, be wise, be proud, be visionary. I'm sure that you will meet and surpass each of these expectations because your school has chosen you and educated you to be a member of the proud and distinctive profession of osteopathic medicine. You are this profession's future. Enhance it and guard it well. American medicine would be diminished without osteopathic medicine. You hold the future in your hands. As I conclude, let me leave you with some advice from a famous doctor. In fact, He's one of the most famous doctors in the world. No, I'm not talking about Dr. C. Everett Koop, not Dr. Ben Carson, not Dr. DeBakey, not Dr. Sanjay Gupta. You thinking now? You thinking? You thinking? Not Dr. Spock, not Dr. Phil, not even Dr. Oz or Dr. Dubin. This advice comes from a doctor you all know, Dr. Seuss. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai, Rodriguez, Van Allen, O'Shea. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Congratulations to the class of 2013.
Thank you, Dr. Rossley. Would you please rejoin us at the podium?
You want me to give the first speech, Einstein?
I've got it right here, Bruce.
Oh, do you? Dr. Rossley, I've known you for those 40 years.
I taught him everything he knows.
Just about, just about. And I've also seen all the diplomas and degrees that you have, but there is something special that this class and this school has that nobody else has. It's a very special award that very few people in the world have ever received. And because of your accomplishments, because of your contributions, the class, the school, the board would like to present you with the Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine Fighting Prairie Dog Award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Dr. Rossley. Congratulations on receiving the RVU Fighting Prairie Dog Award. Dr. Bruce Dubin, Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, will now present the graduating class in preparation for awarding of the degree.
Wow, so now the moment really gets to be magical. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine please stand? I would also like to tell the class and the audience that standing with you in memoriam is student Dr. Brandon Trussell. He's here with us today. President Lovell, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you Rocky Vista University's College of Osteopathic Medicine graduating class of 2013. The members of the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine have evaluated the candidates and endorse all of these students as worthy of having the degree Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine conferred on them. President Lovell, it is with great pride that I present the class of 2013 of Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Will the graduates please remain standing for the conferment of the degree? Dr. Dubin, I am pleased to receive these candidates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rocky Vista University and by the state of Colorado, I do hereby confer upon you the degree of osteopathic medicine with all the honors, rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to this degree, of which your diploma will be a witness forever. You are hereby recognized as graduates and alumni of Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Dr. Moore, did you know that these doctors graduated with the highest board scores in the country? We will now honor the graduates of the College of Osteopathic Medicine earning the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. Hooding is the culmination of a medical student's achievement of the DO degree. The hood, adorned with green velvet, represents the academic color of medicine. The graduating class has selected 2 members of the faculty to serve as hooders. Hooding the graduates are Walter Buck, PhD, Chair of and Professor of Structural Medicine, and Dr. Richard Darrow, DO, Professor of Internal Medicine. Graduates were also given the option of being hooded by a family member. The guest hooders will be identified as the name of the graduate is announced. Let's let the hooding ceremony begin.
Dr. Brent Marcus Barber. Dr. Catherine Annie Bonds, hooded by Dr. Kyle Bonds. Dr. Jason Alvin Burchett. Dr. Stephen Matthew Cox, hooded by Dr. Jerome Schroeder. Dr. Brandon Trevor Eccles. Dr. John Willis Evans. Dr. Bonnie Brewster Hunt. Dr. Daniel Larson Jacobs, hooded by Dr. James Jacobs. Dr. Jeremy Rowe Kennison, hooded by Dr. Frank Kennison. Dr. Matthew Liedall Leatherman. Dr. Kyla Michelle Martin. Dr. Patrick John Matthews. Dr. Katie Elizabeth Newmeyer. Dr. Elizabeth Ann O'Keefe. Dr. Eric Thomas Raschke, hooded by Dr. Randall Pierce. Dr. Spencer Ellis William Shirk. Dr. Lisa Marie Snow. Dr. Julie Ann Waters. Dr. Ryan Marshall West. Dr. Ann Victoria Whalen, hooded by Dr. Sarah Whalen. Dr. Michelle Lee Zielinski. Hooded by Dr. John Baer. Dr. Akash Achira. Dr. George Henry Allen. Dr. Michael Corey Allender. Dr. Jennifer Marie Arbel. Dr. Kenton Lee Ashey. Dr. John Pierre Baer, hooded by Dr. John Henry Baer. Dr. Kristen Robin Becker. Dr. Lee Marie Rosacio Betty Prudhomme. Dr. Casey Patricia Bitting, hooded by Dr. Robert Chavez. Dr. Stephen Barrett Borland. Dr. Stephen Slocum Buteau. Dr. Marcin Byra. Dr. Jesse Thomas Casabon. Dr. Rachel Campion Castor. Dr. Weston Lorenzo Childs. Dr. Eric Austin Close. Dr. David Dwayne Cook, hooded by Dr. Lewis C. Cook. Dr. Robert B. Cooper II. Dr. Sarah Margaret Coulter, hooded by Dr. Stephen Coulter. Dr. Jennifer Elizabeth Cox. Dr. Patrick Glover Craig, hooded by Dr. Charles Craig. Dr. Dustin Robert Danowski. Dr. Mackenzie Elizabeth Dean. Dr. Erica Lynn Deering. Dr. Donna Ann Diamond. Dr. Christina Lee Duncan. Dr. Thomas Allen Duncan. Dr. Aaron Michael Dunn, hooded by Drs. Michael and Terry Dunn. Dr. Jessica Margaret Egrid. Dr. Brent Andrew Ennis. Dr. Jennifer Ann Farwell. Dr. Elizabeth Dawn Figa. Dr. John Ronald Fitzgerald, hooded by Drs. James M. Sr. and James M. Jr. Fitzgerald. Dr. John Alexander Fordham. Dr. Benjamin Forum. Dr. Michael David Forte. Dr. Mariah Elizabeth Gallo. Dr. Joshua Avram Garfine, hooded by Dr. Arthur Garfine. Dr. Joshua David Gazetta. Dr. Casey Michelle Gillette. Dr. Thomas Cadell Githens. Dr. Ahmed Shola Jiwa, hooded by Dr. Thomas Oshi Nawo. Dr. Summer Grace. Dr. Timothy Ardell Hadley. Dr. Petros Hajian. Dr. Christopher William Healy. Dr. Amanda Jo Hirsch. Dr. Rebecca Elizabeth Holder. Dr. Lydia Ann Hostetler. Dr. Kung Mei Nancy Su. Dr. Renee Aaron Hewlett. Dr. Aaron C. Hull. Dr. Tyler James Hurst. Dr. Linda Nak Huynh. Dr. Susan Emily Jevert. Dr. Megan Michelle Johanning. Dr. Brett Allen Johnson. Dr. Jason Thomas Kasenberg, hooded by Dr. Tom Kasenberg. Dr. K. Yen Jur Ying Keltz, headed by Dr. Jeffrey M. Katz. Dr. Joseph James Crocker III. Dr. James Howard Kurtz. Dr. Amanda Beth Larson. Dr. Tu Unvi Le. Dr. Tyler John Lewandowski. Dr. Jonathan Alexander Lind. Dr. Patricia Marie Lowry, hooded by Dr. Karen Sundby. Dr. Jenna Ray Madsen. Dr. Christina Uloria Maynard. Dr. Eric Daniel Mast. Dr. Derek Glenn McAllister. Dr. Melina Angelica McLaughlin, headed by Dr. Maria Andrade. Dr. Lauren Claire McLaughlin, headed by Dr. Michael McLaughlin. Dr. Keith Murray McNabb. Dr. Mallory Ann Meyer. Dr. Ruth Nicole Mondolfi, hooded by Dr. Paul Mondolfi. Dr. Jonathan Ryan Moran. Dr. Derek Stephen Morford, hooded by Dr. Linda Sand Guest. Dr. Megan Rochelle Moyle. Dr. Oscar French Knoll IV, hooded by Dr. Andrea Knoll. Dr. Andrew Charles Oakley, hooded by Dr. Thomas Oakley. Dr. Erica Kristen Ogle. Dr. Andrew Thomas Oliver, hooded by Dr. Michael Moore. Dr. Andrew Christian Owen. Dr. Prachi Tony Patel. Dr. Noel Pence. Dr. Russell James Piper, hooded by Dr. Ross Piper. Dr. Sarah Catherine Price. Dr. Joseph Gregory Protasio. Dr. Shayna Margaret Ray. Dr. Christopher Stephen Regan. Dr. Lindsay Christine Remy. Dr. Caitlin Elizabeth Reddy. Dr. Kara Lynn Reynolds. Dr. Melissa Ann Ripp. Dr. Hugo Riviera. Dr. Chelsea Renee Lynn Rohn. Dr. L. Ross, hooded by Dr. Jill Schofield. Dr. Kayla Ray Nebelsick Rotschafer. Dr. Christina Marie Ruiz. Dr. Adam Christian Thomas Sogden. Dr. Marisol Elise Sepulveda. Hooded by Dr. Martin Sepulveda. Dr. Milda Shapiro. Dr. Jillian Nicole Snopoli. Dr. Jessica Lynn Small. Dr. Kevin Robert Smith. Dr. Eric Michael Snelson. Dr. Justin Matthew Spalding, hooded by Dr. Scott Fudenberg. Dr. Justin Burke Stoll, hooded by Dr. Stephen Stoll. Dr. Cara Jackson Stoll, hooded by Dr. Stephen Stoll. Dr. Lauren Tobin Thompson. Dr. Meredith Noel Townsend. Dr. Catherine Miles Trutner. Dr. Lily Ann Trunk. Dr. Mariah Worcester Tucker. Dr. Laurel Ann Verant. Dr. Tyler Lee Voigt. Dr. Nabila Lahachi Wahid. Dr. Karen Marie Wannersdorfer. Dr. Albert Comro Wirtz, hooded by Dr. Rodney Wirtz. Dr. Zachary Callender Wilkerson. Dr. Danielle Nicole Wirtz. Dr. Kaylee Ann Zur.
The osteopathic oath will be administered by Dr. Bruce Dubin, Dean of Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Will the graduates please stand?
I'd also like to ask all the osteopathic physicians in the audience to please stand as well to reaffirm themselves to the osteopathic oath. Please repeat after me. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and the life of my patients, to retain their confidence and respect, both as a physician and a friend who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation and never by work or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art. To my college, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts, and to develop the principles of osteopathy, which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Thank you, doctors. Please be seated.
At this point in our celebration, it is befitting for the graduates to pay tribute to those who have contributed greatly to their successes. Will the graduates please rise? Through great dedication and commitment, your esteemed faculty has advanced your capacities as caring and compassionate physicians. And as you go forward, you too will have a responsibility to wisely use what you have learned to preserve the quality of life for those individuals and communities you serve. I ask you to demonstrate your appreciation by applauding the faculty. And please remain standing. Graduates, to your parents, partners, loved ones, friends, and mentors, people who have cheered you every step of this journey, ask that you turn and face the audience. This is your opportunity to say thanks. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, and staff of Rocky Vista University, we commend each of you on achieving this magnificent milestone.
In our brief history, Rocky Vista University, University, has achieved acclaim for our commitment to military medicine. With over 100 students on military scholarship, we have earned the distinction of having the largest percentage of students on military scholarship of any civilian medical school. And you know what? We're real damn proud of it. We are proud of our students' service to our country to preserve our freedom and are honored to witness their commissioning as part of our graduation commencement ceremony. We have with us today and are honored to have Major General Philip Volpe with us to lead our commissioning ceremony. Major General Philip Volpe most recently served as Commanding General of the AMAD Center and School in San Antonio. He's board certified in family medicine and was commissioned as a captain in Medicine Corps in 1983. And like many of you, he entered the Army through the HPSP scholarship program. Well, General Volpe, honestly, if I read everything about you, we'd be here for another 30 minutes. You're a graduate of Notre Dame and a graduate of NICOM, Dr. Ross Lee School, but we're trying to claim him over here, you know. But let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Volpe, and believe me, this is going to be the shortened version. Hey, there's got to be one screw up at every graduation, right? Major General Volpe served as the military and operational consultant to the Surgeon General from 1998 to 2003. He served as a military delegate to the AAFP and was co-chair of the Department of Defense Task Force on the Prevention of Suicide by members of the Armed Forces. Major General Volpe has participated in a variety of deployments to include Operation Just Cause in Panama, 2nd Ranger Battalion, Operation Hurricane Andrew Relief in South Florida, Operation Restore Hope in Somalia, Command Surgeon, Task Force Ranger, that was the Black Hawk Down operation, Operation Uphold Democracy in Haiti, Operation Clean Sweep in North Carolina, and numerous classified special operations that I'll never know about, and neither will anybody else. General Volpe has numerous awards and decorations, including the Distinguished Service Medal, the Defense Superior Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart Medal, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal with V device, the Joint Service Achievement Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal with Arrowhead and 2 Bronze Star, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Korean Defense Service Medal, the Humanitarian Service Medal with 2 Service Stars, the Joint Meritorious Award, and the Korean Order of National Security Merit Medal. Major General Volpe possesses the Surgeon General's A Proficiency Designator in Family Medicine, and he's a proud member of the AMED Regiment in the Order of Military Medical Merit. And ladies and gentlemen, the list goes on and on. At this time, I would like to ask Major General Philip Volpe, please come forward for the commissioning ceremony.
Well, good morning. Good morning, and thank you very much. It's really a privilege and honor to be able to commission and recite the oath of office for many of the graduates here. First of all, congratulations on all of you for a great job, well done, and I'm just so excited for you on the exciting careers ahead for each of you. Now, I haven't been a DO for 40 years, but I will tell you, knowing what lies ahead for you, I would trade places with any of you right now. I really would. Congratulations to the leadership and staff and faculty at Rocky Vista University for preparing these great new physicians and for also preparing those that are going to be entering a second profession in military service. The oath that I'm going to administer is also a time-honored tradition, and it's the oldest, most respected and cherished oath in the United States. Matter of fact, it was enacted by the very first Congress of the United States, and our founders, our founding fathers, saw to it that unlike previous centuries in other nations where oaths were administered to people, an allegiance and a pledge to people for loyalty and dedication, like kings and princes and queens and presidents and general officers and military, they saw to it that our oath was to the nation and to the bedrock principles of which our nation was established, that which is embodied in the Constitution of the United States and our American flag. So it is absolutely a privilege and honor for me to conduct this commissioning and oath ceremony with our newest folks entering the Armed Forces of the United States that represent the greatest Army, greatest Navy, and greatest Air Force the world has ever known. So thank you.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong, for where'er we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college shores, we sail at break of day, 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 day. Through our last night on shore, hail to the foam. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, singing to meet our thunder. At 'em boys, give 'em the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one terrible roar. We live in fame or go down in flame, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. America.
Doctors, attention, hut. Half right turn, hut.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an officer in the Armed Forces of the United States, state your service, Army, Air Force, or Navy. Do solemnly swear that I'll support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will, well and faithfully, discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Doctors, half left turn, hut. At ease. You may approach the gentleman.
Okay. Make sure you get the cards. Hey, congratulations. Yes. Congratulations. Hey, congratulations. Best of luck to you. 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 Congratulations. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Got it? Yep. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Great. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so time for closing remarks. And I was trying to think of what best I could say. And the thought that comes to me often at 40 years worth of graduations is something that my mom used to tell me years ago. She's been gone a long time, but it was a poem that was written a much longer time ago by Rudyard Kipling. But it holds true today, and it holds true for both women and men, written in a different era, but it's now true for women and men as we go forward, and I'd like to share it with you. It's a gift my mom gave to me, and maybe a gift that I can give to you. So it goes something like this. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after you're gone, and so hold on where there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. You're all great men and women. You're great doctors now, and I'm proud to call you colleagues. Thank you so much. Good luck.
What a wonderful celebration. Just closing remarks from me as president. Godspeed, Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine, class of 2013. These proceedings are now officially concluded. Families and friends are invited to greet the graduates in the lobby at the conclusion of the recessional. Will the audience please stand for the retiring of the colors and remain standing until the end of the recessional? Thank you very much.